Hello, what is up, sports bettors? Matt Moda here again with OddsJam, here to bring you another $500 worth of sharp bets. Five bets total, $500 worth of bets, which is 5 units for me, is what I'm going to be doing in this video. A little bit of a later start as I had some stuff to do this Sunday morning, but still getting this video out, still finding $500 worth of plays, 5 units for me, and let's get into it. So actually, before we get into it, yesterday, the first day of me doing this, really bad. I gave out 5 plays, all 5 lost, really bad. Started with the Nick Lodolo over 5.5 strikeouts, ended with the New York Liberty money line. As you can see, every single one of these bets was green in terms of beating the closing line, with this money line one beating it by almost 50 cents. So that was just a really bad luck day. Normally, if you beat the closing line on 5 bets, you won't lose all 5. So it was just a bad luck day, tough start to doing these $500 worth of sharp bets. So I find myself $500 in the red, and we will see how this goes moving forward. But every play that I found, I still thought the process was good because it was green in terms of beating the closing line. Found it using the OddsJam positive expected value page. Every play that you see on this page does have some sort of edge over the sportsbook that you are placing the bet with. And the goal of sports betting is to find edges so you can consistently beat the closing line. The goal of sports betting isn't to always place bets that have the best likelihood of winning, but instead placing bets that have positive expected value associated with them. Positive EV, the summary of it means that we are placing bets that we know have a higher chance of occurring than the suggested odds of the sportsbook we are placing the bet at. Now, I know that was a mouthful, so I'll get into it when I place a bet and start talking about examples. And here was one that right off the bat seems like a really good play. No run first inning in the Mariners versus Angels. So number one, I know this is a good play because it's an ARB to bet online. So bet online isn't, and it's an ARB to the OddsJam line as well, which automatically means it's a good start in terms of a bet. ARB meaning I could place a bet on both sides and I would be profitable. But because 2 of the sharper books is what the ARB is to, that means that this FanDuel line is a really good line. So the odds on it, the OddsJam line prices this at minus 119, with the VIG removed, priced at minus 110. So the gap between the minus 110 and the plus 100 is what has positive expected value associated with it. So all in all, in terms of unit sizing, this is going to be, I will round this down to a 1 unit play for me. So this will be 100 of my $500 placed on this Mariners versus Angels no run first inning. So let me go ahead and log into my FanDuel account. Let me go ahead and place this bet. And then I can talk to you about the positive expected value and what it means to be placing bets that we know have a greater chance of occurring than the reflected odds of the bet that we are placing it at. So let me go to innings. I went to the wrong game. I need to go to Mariners versus Angels, which is right here. So I want to go to innings, no run first inning, plus 100, perfect, $100, place bet, and we are good to go. So let me add this to my bet tracker. This will be the first bet that I placed for today's 5 sharp bets for $500 total. And what I mean in terms of the probabilities. So the OddsJam line with the VIG removed, as I mentioned, prices this at minus 110. If you click this calculator here, it tells you the implied win percentage of that bet, which has it at 52.33%. So basically, this bet, there's a 52.3% chance that no run will occur in the first inning of the Mariners versus Angels. If I go to the calculators, go to the odds converter calculator, I can find out the implied odds of the bet that I placed it at, which was plus 100, which everybody knows has a 50% win percentage, but just to show you how to calculate it. So basically, the bet that we are placing it at only needs to hit 50% of the time in order for us to break even. If it hits any number above 50%, then we will have profited from this interaction from this bet. And we know, based on the OddsJam line, which is pulled from the sharpest sportsbook in the world, that this has a 52.33% chance of hitting, which means that it's above that 50% number, which is why it has positive expected value. Another reason why I like it is if you click into the market, look at how every other book prices this. No other book is giving you better odds than minus 110. PointsBet, minus 115. Caesars has it at minus 125 and has it as the most likely scenario. WinBet has it at minus 110. Tipico, minus 116. BetOnline all the way at minus 139. Heavily favoring the under in this scenario. And the OddsJam line prices it at minus 119. Again, heavily favoring the under. So every other book pretty much thinks the under is the most likely scenario, and we are getting it at plus 100 on FanDuel. FanDuel is the only book that thinks the over is the most likely scenario. So if you're looking at this objectively, if you don't know anything about sports, you don't know anything about handicapping, anything at all, if you're just looking at this from a numbers and a logic perspective, the most likely scenario here is that FanDuel has this one mispriced, and this is what we're trying to take advantage of. So all 5 bets yesterday had some sort of mispriced line that I took advantage of. All ended up beating the closing line. Just unlucky that literally none of them hit. But the strategy was sound. I'm confident in that, which is why I'm continuing this moving forward. So anyways, for my first bet, Seattle Mariners versus Los Angeles Angels, no run first inning, plus 100 on FanDuel. Put 1% of your bankroll on this one, put 1 unit on it, and you will search for another play. So this is one that you can see on the check mark here. I've actually already taken the Seattle Storm versus Las Vegas Aces first half under 83. I do think this one is a good bet, and the odds are actually even more in my favor in terms of the EV. So this is something that I will consider betting. Let's just look at everything. So for basketball and football, when you're betting on totals and spreads, looking at all of the other books is important, but as we can see, only one book, the OddsJam line, actually prices a total for 83. But if you view the event page, we see every other book gives pricing for this play, and every other book thinks that this total should be priced under this 83 amount. So it's 4% positive EV. In terms of unit sizing, it's about a 1.25. I'm going to round this up to 1.5 units. So I'm going to put 150 on this one. And the logic of it is the same as betting on outliers, just instead of an odds perspective, it's from a totals perspective. So again, every other book has this total priced below 83. And some of them even have that total, or their odds still favoring the under. FanDuel has the under at 82.5, minus 122. Tipico at, again, minus 122. FoxBet, minus 133. The OddsJam line, minus 123. And then even if you go a full point lower, BetOnline in the OddsJam line still find the under more likely at a full point lower. So this is a pretty insane value getting it at the number we are getting it at. That's Las Vegas Aces Seattle Storm first half under 83 at minus 110 odds. So this is a 1.5 unit play for me. So I have put on 2 total bets for a total of 2.5 units. So I have 2.5 more units to go. So let me add this to my bet tracker. And as we can see, scrolling through the OddsJam page, looking for value is the way in which you can profit long-term betting on sports. So let's keep going. Let's keep finding more plays for today. So this next one that I like, back again in the Mariners versus Angels game. And this one is a first half under 3.5. So still favoring the under runs being scored in this game. I've actually had a ton of luck betting on first half totals on FanDuel specifically. For whatever reason, they seem to have them a little bit mispriced. The OddsJam line prices this at plus 132. With the VIG removed, it's priced at plus 140. And if you just compare the other books, that plus 148 on FanDuel, clear outlier. So even though this is a scenario in which the likelihood of this bet occurring is on the lower end, only 41.61%, that kind of proves my point of we're not necessarily just picking winners. If the goal was to just maximize the number of bets that you actually win, you would just bet on odds that are minus 300, minus 400 that have a high likelihood of occurring, but you need to win 70, 80% of the time in order to profit. The goal of positive expected value betting is to maximize the opportunities in which, again, is that we are placing bets where we think have a better chance of occurring than the reflected odds. So again, this one being at 41.61% does not scare me off, because if you look at the implied odds of the bet that we are placing on FanDuel, if we go back to the betting odds, plus 148, that has about a 40.3% chance of occurring. So again, if this bet hits anywhere above 40.32%, we will be profitable, and we think that it'll hit 41.61% of the time. So this will be my third play. It'll be a half unit play. So let me go back. The Angels one I already have up, which is nice. So I need to go to first half alternate runs under 3.5 plus 148, $50, place bet, and we are good to go there. So this is my third bet. So for a total of 3 units, I put half a unit on this one. So I have $200 more to go if I can find it. I won't force it. If not, maybe it'll end up being only 300, but let's just refresh the page and let's see what happens. So here's another bet that I really like. This one is on WinBet. The play is the team total of the San Francisco Giants over 4.5 plus 105 odds on WinBet. So again, just looking at the math behind this one, the OddsJam line prices it at minus 109. With the VIG removed, is essentially priced at plus 100, minus 100, minus 101, if you want to round up. So the reflected odds of the OddsJam line with the VIG removed give this a greater than 50% chance of occurring, ever so slightly, like 50.22% chance of occurring. But again, we are betting it at plus 105 on WinBet. And if we're looking at all the other books, so no other book is giving a greater than even money. PointsBet has it at even money. BetMGM minus 115, FanDuel minus 105, Caesars minus 105. What I really like about this bet is the sharper books like BetOnline and the OddsJam line think this bet has a higher likelihood chance of occurring than not. They both give the over as the most likely outcome, except for WinBet, which has it at plus 105. It's the only book giving you above even money. So plus 105 on WinBet is a true outlier. So this will be a 1 unit play for me. Let me go ahead and lock this one in on WinBet. This will be my 4th bet, and then I will have one more 1 unit play to go, and we will be done for these 5 bets. So place bet. Good to go there. Let me add this one to my bet tracker. This was $100 on WinBet, San Francisco Giants team total over 4.5. So the check mark is there. This bet has been placed. So now we're just looking for one more 1 unit play for me today. Here's the last one that I'll take, the under 3.5 first half total runs in the Mets versus Braves game. Again, a scenario in which it's positive expected value. The OddsJam line prices it at minus 117. With the VIG removed, it's priced at essentially minus 109. And the typical line has it at minus 105. And literally another example where every other book has the under as the most likely scenario, except for Tipico. BetMGM, minus 130. PointsBet, minus 120. FanDuel, minus 132. So on and so forth. Minus 130, minus 115, minus 125, minus 117. Every other book, other 6 books, think that the most likely scenario is that this total for the first half goes under 3.5. So this, to me, is another valuable play that we should be taking advantage of. And it's going to be my last play. So I need to log in to Tipico. I will put my last 1% on this play. Then I'll do a quick recap at the end, and we will be good to go. So let me go to MLB. I need to go to the Mets versus Braves. First 5 innings, it was under 3.5, minus 105. Perfect. And let's hope that they can let me get this one in. I do have some issues sometimes with Tipico, but we are good to go. So this is my 5th and final bet. Let me add this to my bet tracker. Again, this was $100. And now let me go to my OddsJam bet tracker. Let me just refresh this, and we see all 5 plays. So the under, no run first inning in Mariners Angels. The under first half in the Storm versus Aces. Looks like a lot of overs except for one. The under 3.5 first half total runs, and again in the Mariners Angels. Oakland Athletics, San Francisco Giants team total over 4.5. And in the Mets Braves, first half total under 3.5. All still positive EV. All still have green, which is good. And that is going to be it. So those are going to be my 5 bets, 5 total units placed today, $500 worth of sharp bets. And that's going to be it. So I appreciate you guys watching. If you're tailing, let me know. I would love to hear it. But happy betting, happy watching, and good luck.